Welcome to the Industry Experts Panel at PortfolioWealthGlobal.com. My name is Michelle Holliday. Today we are welcoming a very special guest, Mr. Jeff Swinoga. Jeff is President and CEO of First Mining Gold Corporation. He has over 25 years of extensive experience in both the mining and the finance industries. And we have a complete, free, downloadable report overview of it, of First Mining Gold Corporation. Our viewers can download it at PortfolioWealthGlobal.com/gold 2000. Jeff, welcome to the show. How are you today?
Michelle, I'm doing great, and thanks again for having me. I really appreciate it, and I'm happy to be here.
Oh, we are thrilled to have you. We're going to start off by looking at the top 10 institutional holders of GLD shares outstanding. We see Ray Dalio's Bridgewater at number 5. He is also very adamant about holding gold. He says, "He who does not own gold knows neither economics nor history." His fund is the world's best performing of all time, with a compounded return of 21% each year. In other words, he expects gold to trade at about $1,500. Now, do you see the price rising about $200 from where it is right now?
You know, Michelle, I think it's certainly possible. We see a lot of good fundamental pressures on the gold price to move it higher, notwithstanding the geopolitical risks that's happened recently. From a supply perspective, if you look at some of the large gold mining companies, their mining profile is declining. They're having trouble replenishing their reserves. There's not a lot of large, significant discoveries to feed into their profile. And they really haven't invested the money in exploration. So we're seeing declining profiles, less supply deficit, if you will, going forward. From a demand perspective, we're seeing central banks like China and Russia buying gold. We see consumer demand doing well, especially in China. So from a lot of inflation in the U.S. is picking up. So a lot of good factors pointing to a higher gold price.
You know, taking it one step further, we see Jeff Gundlach, who manages $100 billion at Double Line Capital, making presentations about the technical analysis for gold being due for a $1,000 breakout. That puts the price at about $2,300. Jeff, what would that do for the gold industry?
Well, I think for the gold sector, of course, that would be great in respect to more exploration dollars going into the ground, trying to find more gold. It might sound surprising for a gold prediction to say a double. I have to say, back in 1998, I joined Barrick Gold. Gold was about $280, $260 an ounce, and within about 5 years, it doubled. And you can see that there's a lot of fundamentals that created that. We're seeing a lot of the good fundamentals now. I think they would be welcome, of course, by the gold mining sector to see that step change up. And as I mentioned before, there's a lot of positivity there, and a lack of investment. So that would be very much welcomed by the mining sector.
Now, you know, they say that 1 out of every 3,000 prospective gold projects succeed, which means there's a tremendous amount of failure. How difficult is it to discover gold statistically?
Gold is, I'm not sure if people realize, but gold is actually very scarce. There's not a lot of gold around in the ground. So when you do find something, you're extremely pleased. And if you actually took all the gold ounces above ground and you put them into, I guess they would fit into an Olympic-sized swimming pool, basically. The metrics are, yeah, so metrics are like 21 meters cubed is basically all the gold that's ever been
wow, that's surprising.
It is. It's not a lot of people realize it. So when you look at the scarcity value, and then you look at the number of assets that we have, especially the 4 bigger ones in Ontario, we're very pleased to have them. When you do find gold, I mean, you hope it's in a good jurisdiction as well. There are a lot of more difficult places in the world to operate from a geopolitical risk, from a legal framework perspective. So we're very pleased at First Mining Gold to have our mining properties in mining-friendly jurisdictions.
Now, Jeff, how close are we to higher inflation inside the United States?
Well, we're certainly seeing it pick up. I think right now the inflation rate is about 2.3%. I think the forecast it's going higher. I think it's 2.5 near term. So it is picking up. I think there is some concern there. Gold is a good hedge in a portfolio to mitigate the inflationary factors from a U.S. dollar perspective. So we are seeing that happen. Yes.
Now, shifting gears just a little bit, Jeff, is gold production peaking soon as it stands? The chart from Bloomberg shows the first quarter of 2019 as the actual peak, and then a 50% reduction by 2024. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's again these major mining companies. They have not been investing in exploration to a greater extent to replenish the reserves. And again, gold is very scarce. It's hard to find it, and it's hard to find it in an area that you can actually mine. So there is going to be a lot of challenges to replace those reserves going forward. And I can certainly see the mining profile is decreasing. I can also see that these large major mining companies are going to have to go out and do acquisitions in order to replenish them. But that's not going to increase supply. It generally just means that they're in their hands of the larger mining companies. So more investment is needed to replace them. And peak gold certainly could happen. I mean, it's something, again, it's very hard to find.
Well, turning now to your company, First Mining Gold Corporation, and your Spring Pole Gold project, what seems to be your primary project that you hold. According to your preliminary economic assessment, Spring Pole Gold is worth about $800 million. Could you please talk to us about your company yourself, the project at hand, a little bit about your own history, and a big overview of your company, First Mining Gold Corporation?
Wow, sure. How much time do you have? So this company started off about 3 years ago with Keith Newmeyer, a company builder, a tremendous individual. I've got the pleasure to work with him. He's a mentor to me. And so we've got these 25 assets. We're focused on 4 big ones in Ontario and also Holbrook and Newfoundland. So this company has a great foundation to grow. We have the assets, I think, in the right places. We are in the right commodity as well. Precious metal, gold is tremendous. I'm a big believer in the gold price. And so, and again, Spring Pole, we just came out with this preliminary economic assessment, as you mentioned. $800 million net present value after tax, 26% IRR after tax. It's a 12-year mine life, a 300,000 ounce project per year. So its cash costs are attractive, just over $600 an ounce, gold equivalent, and all-in sustaining costs just about $700 an ounce. So it's sizable. It's very and to have talk about scarcity again. To have a project like that in Ontario, probably one of the largest undeveloped gold projects in Canada, if not the world, in our hands, and we're advancing it going forward. So it's got tremendous economics. We're extremely pleased. We're certainly motivated, and it's one of a few big assets that we have, and we're excited about it.
Now, Jeff, how long before you can safely estimate that Spring Pole will be in production?
Well, we're thinking there's a lot of factors up there, but we've got a great cohesive team. We think about 5 years to first gold. It's going to take a couple of years for environmental assessment, permitting, construction, and ultimately into production. It's not technically challenging. The technology has been there for years, so we're excited about it. Other projects of similar size have gone through the permitting environmental assessment process, and we're working on overall frameworks for Ontario to work with Indigenous and local communities, because I think that's extremely important, because we don't just have one project. We've got 4 projects, so all within a couple hundred kilometers of each other. So in order to have the right culture, values-based, purpose-led, making the right decisions with the values that we have, the communication strategy, I think it's going to be a tremendous opportunity for us.
That leads me to the next question. I know that according to the company's presentation, your Tier 1 assets are in Canada. First of all, what can happen when assets are not in safe jurisdictions? And secondly, how friendly is Ontario toward mining?
Well, I've had the great opportunity to work in other jurisdictions, not in Ontario, like Africa and South America and so forth. There are a number of challenges, as I mentioned before, the legal framework, but also the social license to operate, and it's quite challenging and quite difficult. And I could speak hours about this, but I got to tell you, just going back to Ontario, Ontario's got a great framework, great legal system, great permitting process. Very pleased to be there. And yeah, I won't talk about other projects in different areas, not to be disrespectful, but we're extremely pleased to be on Ontario and in Newfoundland.
Now, Jeff, who makes up the First Mining Gold Corporation team?
Great question. Keith Newmeyer, as I mentioned, again, company builder, tremendous individual. The other team members, you got Chris Osterman, he's our COO, PhD in geology, a great guy. He's got decades of experience in advancing projects and looking at geologic models. And Bill Tanaka supports him as our VP of Technical Services. Again, decades of experience advancing projects, looking at environmental estimates. We also have very key people up in Ontario that there's 4 of them, for example, over 30 years of experience each, 130 years plus of advancing projects. We're empowering them. They're going to be the spirit of success for us, and it's going to be a great experience for all of us, a great journey.
Now, what are some of the upcoming milestones? And can you give us a sort of advance peek to what you have on tap for your news releases coming up?
Yeah, we've got a number of catalysts. We've already completed a number of catalysts already. We signed our First Nations Protocol Agreement with Springpole back on February 8th. We kicked off the federal environmental assessment process with the delivery of our project description report. We're looking forward to the Ontario process being kicked off, so that's upcoming. We have the coffer dam drilling that we've been doing around Springpole, and the importance of that is that if the results are positive, then that basically confirms the conceptual design of those dams in the PEA that we had out last year. So that's very important. We're doing drilling at Golden. As Golden's another property we didn't talk about, but it's got 30 to 40 kilometers of these sills that could host mineralization. We're looking at a small part of it right now.
Wow.
Yeah, so we've got over 600,000 ounces of indicated and 1.8 million of inferred, and we're looking to increase the confidence of that inferred from 1.8 into hopefully indicated. So the drill results will be out for that soon. We've already been releasing a lot of them, but the last set will be coming out. We have a resource update as well that will probably be coming out after that. So it's a lot of catalysts going forward. Also on the federal process, we'll get the draft guidelines about how to advance Springpole even further. So those will be coming out shortly, and that'll create a roadmap so we can go through and actually make sure that we're ticking all those boxes to have a very aggressive time frame to get Springpole environmentally assessed and permitted.
Now, Jeff, I want to ask you about your thoughts on a specific topic. Are you buying shares of your company on the open market? And do you think that potential shareholders might avoid companies when the management is not involved as shareholders? Generally speaking, what are your thoughts on that topic?
I think management should be aligned with shareholders as much as they can. I've been buying shares in First Mining when I first joined. I really believe wholeheartedly that management needs to be aligned with shareholders and need to buy shares in the company. I'm investing so strongly. I'm investing my first year salary into the shares of this company. I've already bought 140,000 shares. I'll continue to buy. Keith Newmeyer is actually buying as well. Actually, he bought more than me, so maybe I got to catch up now. But I am very much committed to this company. I want to see shareholders get value. I want to see these projects get developed, and so I think hopefully all management feels that way, other CEOs, but this is how I feel.
Now, we are seeing, according to the company's presentation, that in terms of your peer comparison, you are about 21% below average in terms of enterprise value divided by ounces in gold. What needs to change for the market to revert First Mining Gold to the mean, which isn't a small change either? We're talking about a 350% to the upside.
Yeah, and so great question, Michelle. I think we've already started making that change. We've aligned ourselves internally. We've created a cohesive group focused on business objectives. And what we're going to do is, you saw some of these catalysts that we've already met. Keep going, keep advancing the projects, demonstrating that we're going to create intrinsic value for shareholders. That's extremely important, because doing the work on a thoughtful, aggressive basis, focused on business objectives, is going to create a lot of value for our shareholders.
Well, Jeff, it has been an honor to have you on the show.
Oh, great. Well, Michelle, it's been a pleasure. And please, I hope I'm welcome back again. We got lots to talk about. I hope people follow our stock because we've got some heavy news flow coming out. And I think we're doing all the right things. We've got a great culture. We're going to be building relationships. We're going to be building value. It's going to be a tremendous journey for everyone.
It is tremendously exciting. I want to remind our audience to be sure to download our complete free report at portfoliowealthglobal.com/gold2000. It is the most comprehensive research online on this amazing company. The report is free. It covers First Mining Gold Corporation in depth, much more so than any interview that I could do with Jeff. Again, the free report is at portfoliowealthglobal.com/gold2000, made specifically free for our viewers. Jeff, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today.
Thanks again, Michelle. I had a great time.
Mr. Jeff Swinoga, President and CEO of First Mining Gold Corporation, for the Industry Experts Panel. I'm Michelle Holliday at portfoliowealthglobal.com.